Hi guys and welcome. Here we are today with another practice round for the Briggs Farmers League. My name is Adam Fox, the unoriginal name gamer, and I am here tonight with two special guest commentators, Kilios and Spadge from Gab. Hi guys and welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
A couple of interesting matches we've got tonight. We've got two rounds tonight, back to back, one after the other. SOCA versus RSNC, and then straight after that, Jugger versus Dyer. Quite an interesting pairing up. The two sort of big sort of battles coming up tonight, guys. What are your thoughts?
Spade, you want to go first?
Yeah, look, probably from the RSNC SOCA match, I'd be looking at two teams that are probably based on a lot of team play. So it's going to come down to who can control the point, who can get as many bodies on there as possible, and basically not trickling in one by one, because we've seen in a few of the practices already, if you're going in one by one, it's just not going to end well for you. So staying as a cohesive group and just working as a team generally.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I know SOCA and RSNC sort of focus on point holds and all that sort of thing on live quite a bit. So it'll be interesting to see how that sort of teamwork translates into farmers. I know I've seen RSNC put it into good effect in practices that we've done with them. So it'll be interesting to see how SOCA go, because I haven't actually seen any sort of practices or anything from them.
Yeah, and that's definitely the thing that I've been sort of the couple of practices I've watched those guys actually doing. I've been saying to them, you know, were our big sort of mantra, like right from the start of SOCA, has always been that work as a team, sort of focus on that overwhelming the enemy with that cohesiveness of a group, basically. For SOCA to do well in Farmers League, I think they really need to knuckle down on that team play aspect of things.
Yeah, definitely agreed. I mean, notwithstanding though, you've still got some very, very good straight shooters from both teams. Really, it'd be interesting to see how the SOCA guys, which without sounding disrespectful, probably on a lower tier than some of the individual players. It'd be good to see how they go up against those guys in a straight 1v1, because there is always a lot of situations in farmers where you just 1v1 and all you can do is outshoot the other guy really to get the points on the board.
Yeah, well, that is definitely the trick with farmers having that 6 versus 6. It really does come down a lot of the time to that one versus one sort of nature of the game, which probably definitely a lot more prevalent on Briggs, a little bit less so on some of the larger servers where you're more likely, if you're going to die, it's because of the fact that you're going to have two or three people shooting at you at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's interesting with farmers as well, sort of the way that, at least from the practices that I've been in, forcing sort of 2v1s and forcing the odds into your favor just by having that extra person there, and having to uh, deal with that extra person there, and having someone else to both shoot at and having someone else shoot at you at the same time it's quite sort of difficult to deal with. And yeah, as I said, it'll be interesting to see how SOCA go, and RSNC as well, just sort of trying to force 2v1s, because Ganon specifically is very much a map about controlling angles. Once you get into that point room, it's a lot about holding long and short stairs, and just sort of trying to force those 2v1s as much as you possibly can, and hold the point.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting here a couple of days ago. I was actually playing on our actual Briggs server and was at this base fighting against the NC, and found that using some of the tactics I saw Gab using here the other day in the practice scrim, as an individual, I found quite useful. Standing on top of the stairs and doing all of that sort of flanking around and pushing in at spots that I knew the guys were able to hold the point, but then sort of other times weren't able to push in. Like knowing that sort of seeing it in that small sort of scale worked really well to actually defend the points. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And as I said, and I've said it to the Gab guys quite a bit, Ganon is almost entirely a map just based on holding angles, and being able to hold, hold people in server room from short and long stairs is really, really important to sort of to holding the point again and then, you know, getting the base cap, which obviously is, you know, 25 points.
Yeah, covering those angles and using the doorways as a funneling point is very crucial to this base. And having that one doorway, which is normally the end of the short stairs there, that's blocked off, really changes the whole dynamic of that building. You've still got a lot of doorways to enter through, but you still, yeah, having that one less entrance gives you a lot less sort of flexibility on where you're going to come from.
Definitely.
Absolutely. The only real way that you're going to get off a successful flank, which a few of the Gab guys have managed to pull off, is really if you're as a light assault, you're going to be going over the rooftops, funneling your way down that main, I guess, road is just not going to end well. There's too many clean shots on you. There's not enough cover by the time that you make it to the back stairs. You're just not going to get up and in, and vice versa. If you're running from where the TR are currently starting and heading towards the NC Sunderers, you're just too exposed. By the time you walk through the base door, you're just not going to have a good time of it. So it'll be interesting to see if either of the teams actually field a light assault, because I feel like they probably won't to start off. It'll be up to the team that's in front to push an advantage and pull out a light assault then. And if you don't match that light assault, you're constantly fighting a 5 versus 6, because that man on the roof should be able to pick off 1, 2, up to the whole team basically from the rooftop.
Yeah. Any
I think
predictions on who will cap the point initially? Who will win that the initial push?
I'd say RSNC, just based solely off their Sunderer position, because pushing in from sort of down the bottom of the southern Sunderer is significantly easier to get into the point and, you know, start getting up, as I said, holding long and short stairs and really funneling the guys on the northern Sunderer into that server room and in that sort of big choke point becomes really, really important. And yeah, I definitely say that it's easier on that southern Sunderer. It can definitely still be done on the northern Sunderer, but obviously you're not holding it from sort of same direction as the southern Sunderer.
Yeah, yeah. See, if TR can get in quickly and get onto the top of those, on top of the large stairs, they could have a noticeable advantage having that height sort of difference, which is what we saw from Gab when they were actually defending the point. But it's being able to get in there quickly enough and sort of slow the RSNC down enough to actually push to that point and hold that point, even if it means not actually getting the A point straight away, is going to be the difference between whether or not TR end up taking the A point or NC do in that initial push.
Absolutely. I think SOCA really need to be patient. They need to, for me, give up the point at the start, let RSNC push in. Once they're on the point, you can really only leave 2 guys to cover it, because you've got 6 men who are spread between long stair and short stair, and that's the only place that they are. So it's very easy if you get 1 or 2 people picked off. If SOCA pick off 1 or 2 RSNC players, they're going to be completely open for a flank, because the guy looking at short stair is going to have his back to long stair, and vice versa. You can't cover both angles there, so you need at least, you know, 2 bodies to comfortably cover it. And if you push 2 down either of those, you shouldn't win that 2 versus 1. You might lose a man, but you're going to trade 1 for 1, and you're going to lose control of that point completely
Yeah.
when the second man comes in and cleans it up.
Yeah, the crucialness of the initial taking. I'm still watching from the practices that we've done. There's a lot of run and gunning tactic sort of thing. A lot of the push quickly and push fast sort of thing for the point. Farmers, you almost really do need to slow down a bit and think about if you're going to have that situation, because the difference between you being taken out and the other guy being taken out can make a lot of difference to your team when it's only 6 other guys on the field.
Especially on such high ping, it's difficult. It sort of goes back to what I was saying before, where the, you know, whole forcing 2v1s and everything, really just trying to get that 2 points out of every possible kill. It is really definitely a big factor in sort of such a small format.
Now that's 8:10 now. We should be hearing from All Call very soon with the match start.
I think they were having a little bit of trouble with the whisper just before.
Rightio.
Knifey's trying to fix it at the moment, I think.
Probably just a bit of vernacular before we start. There's going to be a bit of reference to short stair, long stair, server room. Will probably be the main three ones. The server room is this major room at the top with the one server in the center of it. At the top of long and short stair. The long stair is the stair with the landing in the center of it, and short stair is the stair immediately behind the point. It's one staircase.
Good thing to think about it. I never really thought about that as being something that a lot of people wouldn't have realised. SOCA have been using that sort of vernacular on describing bases for a good 6 odd months now, but not everyone would know to think about it in those sort of terms.
I know a lot of our guys had problems with it. They just sort of figured it out in the scrim halfway through. Half of us knew what it was, and the other half were just, oh, don't know which one that is.
Yeah.
I'm just going to assume it's that. So
Yep.
we'll go with that.
Yeah, we found it was a lot easier. Again, with squad play sort of tactics, being able to call out sort of enemy sort of locations in the TeamSpeak made a lot of difference for, whether guys had to turn around sort of, or, face the other way, or, be ready for, such and such an attack. Even if someone went down, they were able to call out where the enemy was coming from.
Until the match starts.
There we go. There's our 1 minute warning.
And just going off what you were saying, even calling out, I've just been shot, I'm dead at this location, XX is tagged and at half health, can make your team turn a situation where you've traded none for one into a 1 for 1 and then get you back on even terms. I guess transmitting that information pretty quickly to your guys so that they can make a play and I guess fix your stuff up really if you're dead. It's pretty critical.
Yeah, you should see some of the stuff that they do. We've got we did at one point have a whole Raytel set up for all of our squad comms and stuff like that, because we're running, 7 odd squads now with one guy sort of commanding them all, and so being able to send information to the platoon leader who's not actually at any of the bases, and then be able to get sort of orders back quickly and without sort of any sort of breakdown of communications was something that a lot of guys from our sort of team spent a lot of time working on.
Looks like we've got about 15 seconds before match start. Probably a little bit less now.
4, 3, 2, 1, match start.
Just starting off at the SOCA Center at the moment. Looks like they're running 5 heavies, 1 infill. That
Likewise for the RSNC guys. No,
Okay,
sorry, they do have 1 light assault. Wens is currently light assault.
That'll be interesting to see. See if you can get any good flanks off and possibly pick 1 or 2 of them off. SOCA not really pushing in too hard at the moment. Wens might be able to pick 1 of them off.
Already having a nice bit of trouble with the camera already. Guys, already got 1 light assault up on the roof, right above 3 of the different SOCA guys there.
Yeah, SOCA really not pushing into that server room very hard. They're just sort of sitting back, letting RSNC take control of that point room.
Oh, it's almost as if Spads talked to them beforehand and they've sort of... Yeah, they've decided to really hold back. It's working well for them, at least with the scoring. They're tied currently. I don't know. RSNC's just taking the advantage.
Definitely. The first sort of 2 minutes of a cap doesn't particularly matter. All you're really trying to do is just get that sort of neutralization down from the other faction. So it's not at the moment necessarily imperative that SOCA get the point, but RSNC really starting to get that sort of quite firm hold, just starting to camp those angles.
Yeah, and that's what I'm seeing here at the inside the server room as well. SOCA have sort of pushed into the room, but RSNC are well and truly holding the top of those long stairs. Got one
guy holding short at the moment.
Yeah, Luke's there on the short stairs.
He goes down.
2 on the long stairs there. Ching and... That's what we got.
Little Bird, it looks like.
Little Bird, yep.
Nice little EMP going off there. EMPs are really good for sort of delaying pushes and just taking off. If the guy's not running EMP shield, taking off half health, and again, just trying to force 1v1s in your favour.
Yeah, really playing the smart play here. So no massive rush into the point and wipe out. They've held slow and they're sort of... Have they lost all their guys? No, they've lost a couple of guys on the server room there.
Probably a half-hearted push from SOCA for me. I really think they could have got a lot more guys in on the point and at least got a flip on it. They only sent one down short stair and he got picked off pretty easily, and then two RSNC guys came in to re-secure it quite quickly, and they're just keeping arm's length probably at this point.
Yeah, they're very much... They're playing the slow game here, they are. I think the losers won. Got 4 guys in the server room here.
I think the thing to remember with server room, and it's one of the reasons that we sort of avoid pushing into it, is it becomes a bit of a death trap. You do have that sort of center console to hide behind, but a lot of the angles that you're sort of trying to peek through, people can force you into 2v1s, and again, you know, that's never a good thing. So
yeah,
it becomes very, very difficult.
That's exactly what I've just watched here. RSNC, 2 guys poking out between the 2 different doors and firing on 1 TR at the same time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
1 minute back up outside here.
RSNC really got a very strong hold on that point. I think SOCA's probably going to need to start thinking about pushing. They've probably got 1, maybe 2 good pushes left in them.
SOCA have managed to get control of the roof. They've managed to wall jump heavy up there, which has taken care of Wenz once now that I've seen it. He's just pushed him off, not killed him a second time. So they've got control of the roof, but not really peeking down to their spawn. They're just keeping Wenz at bay, and it's just trading 1 man for 1, and unless Wenz goes up there, if he just goes upstairs, that man on the roof is completely useless.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm looking at here at the moment, is Monkeys is up there, just sort of jumping around, but he's not really able to do much.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's sort of the advantage of playing light assault against, you know, a heavy light assault can just force his engagements.
Yeah.
I think Monkey did just take out.
Monkey did just take Wines out again. Yeah.
That sounds like a max.
That sounds like a max. Yep. Rollins rolling max in, going for the heavy push.
Wow, that went down
real quick.
Very, very quickly.
Nice rockets from RSNC. And RSNC gets the base cap.
There goes the base cap. RSNC quite a large advantage against SOCA now.
I think at that point for SOCA, you really need to not get overly desperate. The point was gone. The max was completely unsupported pushing in, and at that point, you're going to lose 5 points if that thing goes down. You've already lost the 25. That's a write-off from the cap. You get 25 points for capping. Losing that 5 points on top of it is really just adding more pain on top of it. So probably a poor decision there.
Definitely. It looks like a couple of the guys are flanking down and out to the right, trying to come up behind RSNC through that little area. Unfortunately, there was only one of them pushing, but he did go down. Gets sniped by Nidra, I believe, playing infiltrator for SOCA. RSNC doing a really good job of just holding those angles. As I was saying, you know, before the match started, just holding angles at this base is really, really critical, especially when you're spawning in that sort of southern Sundra.
Yeah, I'm watching one RSNC at the moment on the middle of those long stairs, and he's just peeking out, and he can see all the way outside to where I am now, and he can see anyone that's coming into this door that I'm flying through. So making a push for the large stairs, but
I got one through on short stairs, and he goes down with a mutual kill. That was a better push. That was certainly probably the best push that SOCA have made so far. Unfortunately, RSNC just have a really good hold on that.
Great snipe.
That was absolutely beautiful.
That's
one more heavy going on in point, I think.
Good play from SOCA.
Yeah, well done.
They pushed in and capped the point. Now they've really got to get their guys in there to hold on to it. They've really only got 2 here at the moment that I'm seeing. Oh no, here we go. We've got 4 now.
I think in a situation like this where you're trying to push back into a, you know, relatively well defended point, it's really critical that you get your infiltrator getting, you know, 1 or 2 snipes, just trying to get those picks and really starting to push in. Looks like RSNC starting to get a nice little foothold in the point.
Yep,
Yep, moving further up on the point.
straight back in again.
Nice work. They reflipped the point.
Was that a
It is
team
worth-
kill there?
Didn't see it.
I do have a blue on blue on the kill feed, yes.
Yeah.
-5 points.
Something RSNC wants, but too much of a problem with their almost 100-point lead at the moment.
It is worth noting that if SOCA do sort of recap this point, they do actually get 30 points out of capping it. So that may, if they can hold it for the full 4 minutes, that may really get them back into the second half. That flank from Wens, he's taken out one already. He's gone for the second.
He takes the second out.
Oh, take the shot from the infill. Goes down. Trolling doing very good work on the infill for SOCA. I'm not too sure about his score, but his positioning and general shooting is pretty good. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, definitely. He's gotten a good couple little snipes that have opened up those angles just a little bit and allowed SOCA to really start pushing in a little bit more than what they otherwise would have.
Oh, made their way into the server room. They need to move quickly to get in to the top of the stairs there, and then probably hold the top of the stairs.
RSNC just got one heavy just sitting in short stairs waiting for SOCA. Unfortunately, he goes for down. SOCA making a really strong push on that point. So 2 down on short stairs.
Yeah.
Still one RSNC heavy just, making that point contested, making sure SOCA can't flip it.
Oh, he just went
goes
down. One on the
SOCA
other
beginning
side
to
of the
There is a
room
flip.
there. SOCA focusing
RSNC,
a lot on capturing the point, and they're just pushing back in and taking a ball out again.
yeah, I think it's worth noting, definitely that focusing solely on the point is not necessarily the best thing.
5 minutes remains.
Yeah. They really
not
needed to
necessarily the best
have
thing to
one
be
or two
doing.
guys on the top of those long stairs there, helping suppress the guys that were pushing in through those 3 doors on the southern end.
Definitely. I think SOCA have definitely, throughout the course of the round so far, just really started to make better pushes than the first pushes that they were making, that were very sort of trickling in one by one and all that sort of thing. Really starting to group up more and make more concerted pushes, which is good to see.
Possibly a point of the game where your mindset as SOCA turns from trying to cap it, flip that point to damage minimalization, trying to get a few picks just there, and outside server room they trade 1 for none, and they're just bleeding points at this stage.
Definitely, it might even be worth because spawning at that northern Sundero, you can actually get a heavy up on the roof, as we've seen Monkey do before. So it might actually be worth SOCA considering putting someone up on the roof, maybe getting behind RSNC and taking 1 or 2 of the guys who might be camping long stairs down, and just letting the rest of their team push into server. And although it looks like RSNC have started to get a little bit more aggressive and push into that server room a little bit more.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've got the comms control there to actually put someone up on their roof there and wait until the guys are at the server room ready to push, and have that heavy drop down and start firing on them from behind. So having that flank ready to go, and then they push for the server room as that flank is coming in. Oh,
Wen's almost getting a kill there, I think.
Yeah.
Did he get a kill out of that? I'm not sure.
He did get one.
Oh, he did get one.
Take one.
That's a fair trade then.
Good push out there.
Yeah, Luke pushing out and taking out one of the heavies.
RSNC just got to be a bit careful of being a little bit over aggressive. They don't want to get stuck outside with a lack of cover and start giving away points to SOCA.
Yeah, they just seem to be pushing for the points now, giving them that extra advantage. And we click over
Definitely
into
going
the second
into the
round.
second round. If they can get as 100-point lead, which I believe you said that before that they already had.
Yeah.
100+ point lead is really good going into a second half.
They're a little bit less than 100 now, so it's 73 to 143 with 2 minutes to go, so 50 odd point sort of lead.
And definitely not insurmountable at this point.
Oh, that's it. You could
RSNC is controlled from that side.
Easily come back from that, and SOCA probably had the harder side to hit from initially, pushing through that server room there.
Oh, definitely. It's incredibly difficult once you get locked out of a point room at Gannon to really start pushing in there when the other team has the long and short stairs sort of as well locked down as RSNC do at the moment. That server room, as I said before, really just becomes a bit of a death trap, even though, you would expect that it would have well and truly enough cover, but it's just absolutely brutal.
You really need to get a pick in order to push out of that room, and you need to get out of there quick. That's your problem. You need a pick, and then you need to get out of there as soon as possible, because your team's going to be ready, especially with these guys running comps. You can just see now, SOCA player walks out of the server room, gets dropped immediately with 2 ADs.
Yeah, 2 guys, one in
just
front,
traded
one
2 for
below.
none.
Yeah.
So a very, very tough spot, and probably the learning point from SOCA here is just to keep RSNC in that room as much as possible when they flip sides for the next round.
Yeah, definitely.
Ref call, 1 minute remains.
1 point, definitely with RSNC. They've done an absolutely stellar job of holding SOCA in that server room and just controlling their engagements, getting SOCA to come to them when they want, rather than, fighting on SOCA's terms.
Yeah,
absolutely. And control
definitely making the
really
difference.
Giving that to them as well.
Yeah, definitely. Wen's being up there. I mean, even getting the 1-for-1 trades with Wen's, just bringing things down to 5-on-5. But one of the guys obviously being an infill, it can really sort of send the balance in RSNC's favour. And it might be something we see next round from SOCA, pulling a light assault and seeing if they can counter Wen's and all that sort of thing.
Interesting that SOCA's gone to 2 infills at this late stage. Not too
5,
sure why.
4, 3, 2, 1. Round end.
Ooh,
round
nice
end.
double snipe from Trollin, and
SOCA is on 87 and RSNC is on 165.
167 on my end. Probably be inaccuracy. So, jumping over to have a look at the scores now. Yeah, so 87 to 167 on my end here on the stream. Well, very interesting sort of looking at the scores there. Highest killer was Trollin from SOCA there, and highest kills from RSNC was Ching with 18, and Luke just coming in behind with 17. Obviously, RSNC had the higher kill count out of everyone there, and we've got a much higher net score from all of the RSNC guys as well. So SOCA did go down a lot more for the amount of kills that they sort of took, with Trollin being the only one to actually have a positive net score.
As I sort of mentioned earlier in the match, it's really, really difficult with that sort of northern Sundera compared to the southern Sundera. The southern Sundera definitely has an advantage, just being able to camp angles and keep the other team locked in that server room can really make a big difference.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how SOCA goes with trying to hold that push from RSNC pushing through that server room, and how RSNC are going to actually try and get around the difficulty of that server room push.
For me, really, Trollin, he came up big for the SOCA guys. I know that his net score, obviously the only positive one, he's well and truly the best player, but don't forget this guy's playing Infiltrator, and for me in Farmers, when we've been playing, we've been practicing it, Solus or Best, whoever's been sniping for us, have often come out on the lower end of the net score, but their value is more attributed to knocking out enemy dildos basically, and just denying your enemy knowledge rather than actually sniping. So he managed to do both there. I noticed quite a few times him tossing the EMP grenades, leading the charge. He was leading the boys into the A point when they did get the one flip there. So Trollen did really well there. I think they should just build off his play a little bit, and if a couple of the heavies can step up, True Sight, Nidral, Raider, if they can turn their scores around a little bit, I think they're still well and truly in this. It's definitely not a gigantic lead that they've put themselves, but they've definitely got work to do.
Oh yeah, coming off that score sort of difference, they are going to have to push for and hold and capture the point. If RSNC capture the point in the second round, it is well and truly over for SOCA. I don't think there's going to be much coming back from that.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
So I think one of the things that they're really going to have to focus on, I know they were very point focused with the Northern Sunderer, which is, it's significantly more difficult to be so focused on the point at the Northern Sunderer. So it'll be interesting to see sort of how well they get in there and start camping those angles just like RSNC did, see if they can lock them into the server room and hold them in those choke points, try and get those really easy picks. I think I did see one LA come out of SOCA's Sunderer just then, so they may actually be running an LA this round, which will be interesting to see if he can counter the monster that is Wens.
Yeah.
I think coming from the Southern Sunderer as well as a light assault, you've got a lot more cover offered by the humps on the roof, I guess, for lack of a better term. You've got a lot more options too if you need to jump out and get low and still maintain a bit of control, rather than just wall jumping up as a heavy as we saw the SOCA guys do in the first round, which I think really is the best way that the Northern Sunderer can counter that light assault. But he just needs to be further up. He needs to be close as he can be to those Southern Sunderers, because his main role in being a tank on the roof is to pick someone off before
Next
they get
round
up
will
there.
begin in 1 minute.
Yeah, well, having the heavy on the roof as well, if you've got your guys pushing into that server room, if they can get one or two of the NC guys down, or whoever is coming from the Southern Sunderer, having that heavy on the roof sort of gives you that suppression sort of thing to stop the guys from actually getting back into the facility.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. I know it was something in the Gab versus FCLM practice that we streamed last time. Something that Callow and I tried to do. I got him to wall jump up onto the roof and flank with me, and that worked out relatively well. Just trying to get those one or two picks on the guys that would normally be sitting up on long stairs just before they can really get set up, and start locking the rest of your team into that server room and get them into that point as quickly as you can.
Yes, it'll be definitely very interesting to see what happens next.
10 seconds before start.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So starting off with the RSNC Sunder, it looks like we've got four heavies, one infill, and one LA.
Matched by the SOCA guys, and we've got Trollen playing on the light assault now, so it'll be interesting to see who fills that sniper role now that he's out of that.
I think I remember Nidral saying something about the fact that he was playing infield tonight. When's and Trollen getting their first 1v1 off.
Good trade.
Nice trade on the roof there, yeah. I don't know why I have this weird sort of feeling that I need to press E at the beginning of each round for some reason. It keeps throwing me out of the observer cam. It's another thing to get used to.
And I think RSNC getting a very, very aggressive push on A point, which is something that probably warned about at the start. Pushed in and got pincered from both sides, just not patient enough, and got wiped off the point completely. 100% control the SOCA.
Definitely.
Good push from them.
There's two RSNC heavies just heading in at the moment. Oh, that's SOCA, sorry. RSNC sort of making the mistakes that that SOCA made at the start of the first round, just going in dribs and drabs, feeding points to SOCA.
Yeah, getting sort of filtered one at a time sort of thing, getting that pincered from both doorways.
Definitely. SOCA doing a really good job of just camping those angles and really suppressing the RSNC guys, forcing them to sort of just sit in server room, not really be able to push, you know, make a concerted push.
Got a bit of a flank coming from the RSNC boys heading up the
there.
road. I think he thought better of it.
Heavy? Yeah, I think he got a trade with another one of the SOCA heavies.
RSNC guys going for the short stairs. Looks like they've traded one. And
yep. They traded one, and I think one of the SOCA guys took the other RSNC heavy out on short stairs. RSNC's infill playing really defensively, just sort of trying not to push too far. Unfortunately, it does
still getting wiped out now. There's really the difficulty of this server room. Yeah.
Wen's back up on the roof. I think he's starting to look to just get one or two of the guys and really start to push into that point room. Because we are coming up to that mark where, you know, getting the point for your team is significantly more critical.
Yeah, if SOCA are able to capture and hold on to the A point here for this second half, then it is really going to come down to the kills for the match sort of thing, and they're gonna really have to start thinking a lot more defensively and about saving kills and trying to only take people when they can.
Absolutely.
Little Bird has found his way onto the point, manages to trade one, it hasn't gone down yet. There he goes. Did well. Allows his other teammates to push out of server room. They're now all heading down short stair.
Yep,
they'll probably get a
out
point flip out of this.
Long stairs and the short stairs there. SOCA seem to have lost a lot of guys and aren't defending the point. Not a good turnaround for them.
Just watching Wen's outside, he's really just doing what a light assault sort of needs to do, especially on Ganon, just harassing the other team, making them look up and pay attention to you rather than, you know, at the point and the rest of your team on the point. He's already gotten one pick, so we'll see how he goes as the SOCA guys try and push back into the point. Playing quite defensively. He just gets another one.
You can see Monkey here just completely wasting time staring
up just Wens. Yeah, focusing on Wens when he should be focusing on pushing back into the point.
Definitely. Trollin just takes Wens out there, so he's got rooftop dominance, so he should be able to do what Wens was just doing to SOCA.
Have reached into the room. We've got one guy that's actually down near the servers near A, but he seems to be holding on, waiting on a few more of his teammates to come in.
Standing on top of a motion sensor. No, it's just gone down. He did have full awareness of where everyone was. Probably get picked off here. No!
No.
Good play from Luke.
Oh, taking down two guys there. If that had been a little bit more coordinated. Yeah, if they'd been a little bit more coordinated and had hit him both at the same time, that would have made the difference between him taking them both out or them taking him out. Like, they may have lost one, but they would have been stuck with one person still on the point. Because they hit him both at separate times, that he took one out after another.
And I'd say one push is probably all that SOCA's got left before this game gets away from them.
Yep.
They've got 45 seconds before they lose a point and effectively match at that point. There's no coming back from that kind of a deficit.
Yeah, pretty much.
So they're not really pushing at the moment, just trying to sort of get a little bit of damage on the RSNC guys. And that sounds like another max to me. Yep,
doing the right thing this time. SOCA's actually waiting, giving it a bit of support.
This is their last good push. Hopefully they can put this max to good use.
Managed to pick one off.
Yeah, pushing. Really we've got 4 out of 5 guys here.
They do need it.
Need to get right in on that point as soon as they can.
It's too late.
Yeah.
Oh, the very close save there. RSNC's going to be panicking there to push back in onto the point.
Looks like Trollin going back to the Sunder are probably swapping back out to Heavy. Doesn't want to give RSNC that 5 points of that max kill.
And a man going with him, which is not the smartest. You've got Monkey heading back to the TR Sunderers, so they're 4 men on point now, and they've really only just resecured it for 15 seconds. You'd almost be better with a pistol or a rocket in your hand on the point, at least at this stage.
Definitely. RSNC really pushing into that server room quite hard, trying to get that point back.
Yeah, well, every second that ticks away on that point cap is another second they've got to re-secure it for and hold it to capture it.
Definitely.
Pretty sure
SOCA
everyone
doing a
can
really
agree
good
with
job
that.
SOCA doing a really good job of just camping those angles, getting nades into the server room. Trying to take out at least one or two of the RSNC guys.
Still holding on to the server room.
Yep, Wins is up on the roof. He grabbed a pick just before.
We got the point flipping.
We've got TrueSight here capturing the, holding onto the long stairs while RSNC are pushing on the A point. And there they go, 3 of them taking him out at once.
Little Bird really leading the charge. Been impressed with how he's managed to get off the top and then get down in and flip the point. He's done well. We've got a flank coming up from the SOCA guys. Dismos is around the back of the RSNC position, but none has managed to get anything done.
Looks like they're slowly starting to push up on that point.
Just got to push back up on it again.
Unfortunately, once again getting forced into those 2 and 3v1s.
Yep.
RSNC doing a really good job of forcing them.
Using heights to their advantage too. There's no point in being in a 2 versus 1 where you're standing behind your friendly. Stay on the stairs, 1 man down on the point. You can offer a lot more field of fire.
Definitely. And 5 seconds before RSNC grabbed the base, and I think that's virtually game over for SOCA.
That's it for SOCA, yeah. Picking it up now to, so that's 260 to RSNC, 143 to SOCA, with 6 minutes left in the round.
Certainly an improvement from SOCA no matter what. They can take a lot away from this round, more so than the first one. I think they just got steamrolled and caught off guard in the first one. Still a few silly mistakes that they've made, not pushing in as a group. The use of the max was still iffy. They got lucky with it this time, I think. But a lot better than their last showing. Even this push now.
I think even just supporting that max with another heavy, having someone to flip the point as the max cleared out the point was definitely a good play by SOCA. RSNC slowly getting pushed off the point. Looks like we've got 2 SOCA heavies.
Yeah, they do appear to have whittled them down off the point. I think that's everyone. Got one blue in the server room there.
RSNC starting to push back into server room at the moment.
Doing a good job of not panicking really. I mean, they know they're probably up by a large margin at this point. Just waiting to regroup, push in as a team and shove them off the point. That's if they bother.
Definitely.
Nice little play there from RSNC there. Watching them, I've got 1 guy in the server room here with Luke, and then all of a sudden you've got another 4 guys that just appear out of the corner of the screen, and then they're pushing out onto the top of the stairs. They wait until they do that push until there's enough of them there to do it.
Definitely. I think RSNC have used...
Rifle call, 5 minutes remain.
Used the cover on the point really well. Hiding behind that that server box where the blocked door is definitely an incredibly strong point. I know I've used it myself multiple times when holding the point here at Gannon. It's a really good strong point to just try and delay pushes from the other team.
Chink get dragged out. Picked
Colin here on the short stairs. And
SOCA once again pushing the point again.
And a good display of how you push someone out of that position that Kilos was just talking about. Toss a grenade in there, make them come out and then pick them off while they're still running.
SOCA really getting set up and starting to camp those angles as you really sort of need to when you're on that southern
This is really what we want to see now. They've only got, just enough time to capture it again, so they really need to hold RSNC back on every push that they make. Here we have them again. It's all, 5 out of 6 of them.
Getting in the back, taking out the infill.
Probably the most important player to take out too. They can get a little bit of information on where the SOCA guys are positioned now, knowing that their motion sensor can't be EMP'd.
Just their infiltrator left and taken down. Nice defense there from SOCA.
Yeah, very well done.
Completely obliterating the team.
I think one of the things they're gonna try and get is that that motion dildar down from RSNC. Just stop RSNC from knowing exactly where they are. Trolling another max. Interesting play, but I think he must be using it to just hold down that point and really anchor SOCA's position in the point room.
Oh,
Really going to be a sitting duck, I think. I think Wens might have just picked off their infill once again. I didn't quite see that. It was a very quick play.
Oh, I heard a pistol
Interesting
and
to
that was it.
note that interesting to note that SOCA have two heavies camping on both short and long stairs, although one of them looks like he's moved back down to the point. Just really trying to cement their angles there and really try and force RSNC into those 2v1s that I've been talking so much about.
Look back at the RSNC. Sundra seems to be shopping around a bit and he's pulled his own max. We have a scat max coming in for the RSNC boys, so bit of max on max action.
Guys, it's all over then. If they've got a scat max.
Scat max OP.
Yeah.
Real choice. Doesn't have slugs.
Also worth noting, only 1 minute and 10 seconds before SOCA grabbed that point. So that's a good 30 points that they'll get out of capping it if they can manage to hold it.
Yeah, it'll definitely throw the score up a little bit more in their favour. They're still more than almost 90 points behind, so it's, with only a minute 45 to go, it will bring the scores a lot closer, but I don't think it's
worth
going to be
noting
enough.
though, if they do manage that cap, they've actually won the round, so good showing from them.
Yeah.
Down 80 points at the end of the last round, so if they can salvage that, I think that they'll be happy. But the max pushing in, both maxes on the point now.
Both teams really just trying to sort of play defensively with their maxes, not give away those points to the other team.
Point is slipping, and that's probably all she wrote for the point cap.
Two heavies in the infield for RSNC still on the point.
Great
Colin
block by the
doing
max
1
there.
minute
Yeah.
remains.
Doing work with that max.
He's made himself worthwhile with those kills.
Yeah, it's one thing with the maxes. People focus so much attention on taking that max down. If you've got infantry around you, then it makes all the difference. Oh, that was an interesting play by SOCA. The max decided to redeploy out with barely no health left. I guess not having an engineer, it makes more sense for them to come back in as a heavy or an infiltrator or something along those lines.
Don't want to give them the 5 points for killing him.
No, true.
Absolutely.
Especially after he made
RSNC
himself cost effective.
Pushing very quickly again for that A point. Couldn't even keep up with them. 3 of them down
Both
there on the
teams
point.
really just trying to grab hold of that point.
Yeah, it's only got seconds left on it.
Excellent work from RSNC getting
15
that recency off.
seconds left. I think that's all she wrote.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Match end. RSNC wins 296 to SOCA's 206.
Very well played by both teams.
It's interesting, for some reason,
Second
Knifey's
round.
score is like 2 points down on the RSNC to me. I've got 298 to 206. There's obviously something's gone a little bug there, but close enough is good enough. RSNC have definitely won it with almost a 100-point difference. That 3 or 4 seconds left on that A point cap really did make the difference, didn't it?
Absolutely, and I think both teams sort of scrambling for control of the point in the end would have definitely widened that gap. I would think between the two teams. Just RSNC sort of winning those 1v1s a little bit more than what SOCA were, despite trying to hold that point as best they could.
For sure, shows the importance of getting that point secure as well. I think for me, the SOCA guys, trolling obviously again, coming up big, second highest net score in the entire game, which is phenomenal on a losing team. Really well done. His use of Max was pretty good. He managed to pull it out twice, and both times redeploy out of it after getting enough kills to make it cost effective and denying the enemy team the 10 points that they would have taken off him if they killed him both times. So bit of improvement from the boys, but the second round they definitely showed that they have that in them. They didn't just go in, make the same mistakes. They made improvement, and for the next match for them, looking forward, I think that they can do it again and only become stronger as a team.
That's definitely going to be the thing with Farmers League, having them so many matches, and them, each team is going to fight 6 teams, or 5 other teams, I guess, in themselves, before even getting to that finals. It's going to give a lot of time for people to sort of practice and learn what's good and what's bad, and get better, basically. Trollen coming out as well with the highest kills of the match as well, followed very closely behind by Ching with 31 kills. Interesting to note.
Definitely.
Yeah, Ching obviously picking the more, or playing the more standard heavy role, just being the frontline enforcer, and did a very good job of that, I think. Himself and Luke both making some pretty big plays. Beyond Ninja and Little Bird definitely backing the guys up. I think their negative scores, very low negatives, so not really much to read into that. They played the point and they did their job how they needed to. I wouldn't expect those guys to be coming out with positive scores. I think that's a good performance from them. And likewise with Wenz, even falling into a negative, he controlled the roof at the critical moments. He got the flanks when he needed to. He picked off the infiltrator when he needed to, and was just a nuisance basically. And that's what you want from your guy playing light assault. Sure, if he can go 2 for 1, great, but not everyone's capable of doing that. He definitely did his job.
Absolutely. I'd say that definitely with moving from sort of live play, as I mentioned at the very, very beginning of the stream, RSNC and SOCA being more focused on, teamwork and all that sort of thing on live and point captures, translating that into Farmers it's an entirely different experience, and it can be quite jolting. I know Wenz definitely has had some questions, and he's been in and out of Mumble asking me and some of the other Gab guys questions on the format and how to just sort of get used to everything and all that sort of thing. So it definitely can be a jolting experience, and I'm really sort of pleased to see that RSNC and SOCA definitely making that transition quite well, and significantly quicker than quite honestly what I would have thought both teams would have.